Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review and part 2 of the Doctor Who VHS Tin Collections review. I am back at my original home, as where most of my Doctor Who collections are in safekeeping, and as you can see behind me is the other 3 VHS Tin Collection sets that was released. So without further ado, please hit the subscribe button, that will really help out this channel, and let's check out these other 3 VHS collection tins. And here they are, the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master tin sets. Starting with the earliest from these 3 is the Dalek tin set, a new Dalek tin set. This was released in November of 1999, and I really like the gold and white colouring from the Dalek, and the logo itself looks very similar to the Necros Daleks from one of the stories featured in this set, Revelation of the Daleks, the other one being from the Third Doctor story, Planet of the Daleks. It does look very similar, this impressing of this Dalek, to the other tin set that was released earlier in the 90s. I also like on this set that you've got the gold sort of Dalek bumps with the gold lettering as well all the way around this tin. It just adds an extra nice touch to this set. Taking a look inside then, and we have Planet of the Daleks, the Third Doctor story, with John Pertwee there and Katie Manning as Jo Grant, along with a lot of Daleks, including the Supreme Council Dalek that was used in that story. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a different sort of type of video covers compared to the wonderful artwork that they did back in the early 90s, and it's not too bad. I definitely preferred the more artistry video covers that they used in the early 90s as compared to this one. This was kind of like a relaunch, more likely so when the 1996 TV movie came out, so you got the new Doctor Who logo that they used for that TV movie being used for these future VHS sets. I'll just quickly show you the back of this cover because it does go into great detail, the plot for this story. So much so, sort of doing a bit of a recap from the previous story, Frontier in Space, mentioning an injury to the Doctor after his confrontation with the Master and the Ogrons. And now the Doctor is in pursuit of the Daleks with their new master plan of dominating the universe. What I also liked is they mentioned about the Doctor Who Appreciation Society, and also a little bit of a time capsule really with this video, because this was all filmed in colour back in 1973, but for whatever reason, episode 3 of this 6-part adventure is only available in black and white from this video cover, from this video release. And that's obviously got colorized when the Planet of the Daleks was released on DVD in the 2000s. Inside the video cover is pretty much a prelude to what would be your DVD extras and documentaries, as it has got a lot of information from this particular story. And it goes into more detail about why episode 3 of this adventure was only available in black and white. Basically, they only had that that black and white version in their library. The colour one has gone missing, and it did that with several other John Pertwee stories that they did re-restore back into colour eventually. For the other video releases, such as Terror of the Autons and the Silurians and the Demons. But I like that they've got a little bit of a website as well from the restoration team, and of course here that the BBC wants to very keen to hear from any information about missing Doctor Who episodes or the missing colour John Pertwee episodes. So that's all on there. So it's just, again, just a time capsule of what these videos had inside the covers and casings, and there you can see what they were advertising from the new BBC video range with the new Doctor Who logo. So you got quite a lot from the Tom Baker collection, Peter Davison, and then books as well, future books and audios, pre-Big Finish audio, and new adventure novelizations. On to the next video, and it is the Sixth Doctor story, Revelation of the Daleks. A great story from 1985. And this video cover is just bursting with colour. Absolutely love all that. I don't remember any mountains being in Revelation of the Daleks, and obviously this building here being tranquil repose, that is definitely not what you see on screen. So a little bit misleading, but it does make for a striking video cover. And what I also appreciate is the positioning of the Daleks, and it's the same of the planets of the Daleks. Yes, you can tell that they've just basically copied the imagery of that Dalek position, but at least they didn't cheaply flip the image so that the plunger and the death ray is in the wrong positions. I'll quickly show you the back as it continues the snowy mountain range. That could be Necros, I suppose. But yeah, at least I appreciate that from the video covers, that they actually do front to back all the way around with these striking background images. More factual information inside the VHS covers here, and this one is a really good read. You know, it goes into great detail of the 18-month hiatus that Colin Baker and the rest of the Doctor Who team and producers had to endure, as this story, Revelation of the Daleks, was the final story from season 22. And it just goes into detail of what would have been season 23 if that came to be instead of the trial of a Time Lord. And also what they go into in more detail is the locations that they use for Tranquil Repose, and also the music licensing issues that they had to get cleared to release this story onto video, and in future releases onto DVD and Blu-ray. Moving on to the next tin, which was released by BBC Video in November 2001, the Cybermen tin VHS set, containing the Sixth Doctor story Attack of the Cybermen, which opened up season 22 for classic Doctor Who, and the final story from the first Doctor era, William Hartnell era, the 10th Planet. Again, I love how the Cyberman stands out, all in like a 3D sort of printing effect, again with the Doctor Who logo as well. Quickly show you the side, and I'm liking the silver sort of lining effect that they used, again with the silver Doctor Who logo. Got a little bit of rust on these poor tins, but still holding up quite good considering that these are over 20 years old now. Just show you the inside of the tin, and I'm not sure if you can see it ever so clearly on the camera, but it's got some of my thumbprints, I think, on there. So if anyone did tend to try and steal it, well, you know, the police will have you caught red-handed, so please don't do that. Anyway, moving on to this video, and it's the 10th Planet, First Doctor. Liking the snowy effects there for this story, all in blue. Again, it is another time capsule because this is before the missing fourth episode was reanimated for future releases. This one, we had to rely on the telesnaps and written information of what was going on between those scenes in episode 4, apart from, of course, that infamous first regeneration scene. Again, inside the cover, lots of information on how this story was made, particularly the rewrite they had to do for episode 3 due to William Hartnell's sudden illness. So that was quite a fascinating look into the making of the 10th Planet. And it also includes how they managed to, well, sadly, wipe out the fourth episode of the 10th Planet, and how the unsung heroes of Doctor Who had the forthright and just the forward thinking of recording all the stories and episodes on audio. So at least we got them, and that helped actually do the animated recreations that were released for not just this story, but a lot of the lost stories from the first and second Doctor era. And then we have the Sixth Doctor story, Attack of the Cybermen. And if I put that side by side with the 10th planet, they both look very similar in design, which I do appreciate. It just makes it a bit more uniform for this VHS box set, this tin set. But again, lots of colour striking going on here. Looking at the planet of Telos, I believe, from that story. And again, just quickly look at the back and how they sort of recolorize some certain scenes, because again, on the actual story, Telos looked a bit more bleak and grey and a little bit quarry-like, if you ask me. Most likely to compete with the DVD market, this video also included a bonus interview featuring Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant on Swap Shop, originally broadcast in January of 1985. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what's happened here. This video covers managed to get some water damage, so again, not sure what's happened, so I do apologize. So I can't give you a full insight of what was inside this VHS cover, but again, very similar to the other sets, a lot of information for the making of this story. This video stirs up a lot of nostalgic memories for me, because this set was given to me by my mum and dad for Christmas as a Christmas present, so thank you very much for that. But I also got for that Christmas, as my main present, a video cassette player, and Attack of the Cybermen was the first video that I actually put into that machine and watched upstairs in my room on Christmas morning. Last but not least is the Master tin set, released by BBC Video in November of 2001. A great image of Roger Delgado there as the Master, featuring the two stories from the Third Doctor era, Colony in Space and the Time Monster. Now, unfortunately, this tin has suffered a bit of a rusting effect on here. It's not too bad, as you can see it on here, but yeah, it has had some rusting issues. Still has the white sort of silvery lining, similar to the Cybermen tin set that I've just shown you previously. But again, yep, this one has suffered the rustings of time. Show you inside the tin and the first video, this one being Connolly in Space. Loved the shock look coming from the Third Doctor and the menacing look from the Master. Again, the inside of this cover giving you a lot of information behind the scenes for this particular story. How they basically managed to surprise John Pertwee for his turn on This Is Your Life. How some former members from the soap, such as Gail Platt from Coronation Street and Tony Conter, who was in EastEnders, Roy Evans, was also in this story. How they managed to recolorize this story, as the BBC only had the black and white negatives, but managed to restore it into its former colorized glory for this release. And the video cover for the Time Monster. A lot of detail going into this video cover. I do miss the artwork from the previous videos that were released back in the 90s, but I do like the background here, and using some of the imageries taken from the story itself, particularly of Kronos and the Master as well, holding that jewel. And lots of information of the making of the Time Monster, particularly about director Paul Bernard, who went on to make the ITV show The Tomorrow People. Both of these stories are a lot of fun, which I will review at some point in the future on the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. So that was the other VHS collector's tin sets from the Doctor Who range that was released back in the late 90s. Did you ever own any of those sets? I would love to know in the comments below. Also, show me your photos on my Twitter page at ReviewTimey. And also, what other nostalgic memories do you have of owning not just those sets or the commemorative sets on my part 1 video, but any VHS sets that was released from the Doctor Who range from BBC Video? I would love to know all your memories of owning those amazing videos. Next time on Time Wimey Review will be my retrospective look at pretty much a forgotten companion for the Doctor, Chameleon. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the cloister bell for more notifications, come say hello and follow me on Twitter at ReviewTimey, and do check out my fantastic Doctor Who content on TikTok and right here on the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. Until then, stay safe, thank you for watching.